Hello, and welcome to today's video. I wanted to give a big shout out to the first 100 subscribers. Thank y'all, it really means a lot to me. And in light of this accomplishment, I finished setting up a Discord server, which you're all welcome to join. I'll leave the link in the description, but back to the video, which was suggested by Dishrack Dixieland over on Reddit. We're going to take a look at the chronological watch order for all of the Star Wars saga movies and TV shows, as well as their first time watch order, in case you've never seen Star Wars. That and more in today's video. Alright, so several things are important to make sure that the movies leave a good impression on the person watching it, and there's been a lot of debate on the prequels being more engaging due to their more recent release. However, I would argue that you should start by release order, with Episode 4, A New Hope, followed by Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. And to give a little bit of context, the events of Empire occurred during 3 ABY, that is, after the Battle of Yavin, a battle which took place during A New Hope. Up next would be Episode 6, Return of the Jedi, which would have been called Revenge of the Jedi before the final script was drafted. However, George felt that this name was inadequate, as, quote, revenge is not the Jedi way. Now that you've finished the original trilogy, you can turn your attention to the prequel trilogy, the first of which would be Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, set 10 years before the events of Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, which kickstarts the Clone Wars. Now here's where this can go two different routes. You could either keep watching the movies or start the shows, which fill in the unexplained gaps between the movies. If you choose to watch the shows, you should watch the first 4 episodes from Tales of the Jedi, which gives us an insight on a younger Dooku before his fall to the dark side, and are safe to watch before starting the Clone Wars movie and corresponding TV show. The Clone Wars TV show, I believe, is essential to truly understanding the events of Episode 3 and the prequel trilogy as a whole. Once you finish the Clone Wars, it's safe to move on to Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. The Bad Batch show follows Clone Force 99 and its newly minted edition, Omega, during a time of transition as the newly formed Empire begins to spread its strict order to every corner. You could then watch Solo, a Star Wars story, The Kenobi Show, followed by Andor, and then the Rebels animated TV show. Star Wars Rebels starts about 1 year after the conclusion of Andor Season 1. The events of Andor show us the state of the galaxy with the Empire in control, and sets the very foundations for the events that begin to unfold in Rebels. The next movie you'd watch is Rogue One, which takes place a couple months following the conclusion of the Season 4 finale for Rebels. The next couple shows also happen around the same time and take place in approximately 9 ABY, or 5 years after Return of the Jedi, Episode 6. Starting off with Seasons 1 and 2 of The Mandalorian, you take a break to watch Book of Boba Fett before watching Season 3 of The Mandalorian. The Ahsoka show, although happening at the same time, doesn't make too many references to either of the two previously mentioned, but should be watched after them. Skeleton Crew comes next, and in my honest opinion, was a nice change of fresh air for Star Wars. Despite how fans felt about the show in general, it was a good watch. You could technically then watch Resistance, but I'm a little biased here as I haven't watched the show yet, so I can't say if it's good or not. I have watched the sequels, so if you're going to go ahead and walk into that, then be my guest, but you'd start off with Episode 7, The Force Awakens, waltz into the long stretch of Episode 8, The Last Jedi, before finally settling into, quote, somehow Palpatine returns with Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker, which is personally a bad name, but that was the writer's decision. Tales of the Empire could technically be watched after everything. The Acolyte happens before The Phantom Menace, so you could watch that before Episode 1, but it kind of messes with the storyline a little bit. You could then go and revisit Tales of the Jedi and watch the last 2 episodes, with the second and last covering Ahsoka through the Clone Wars and the last one after the Clone Wars. But yeah, this entire list, with the exception of the prequel and original trilogies, is not only in chronological order, but also the best watch order possible to ensure that you get the best out of Star Wars. If you have a different watch order, feel free to share that in the comments, but that's about it for today. If you enjoyed, absolutely delete that like button and subscribe. And remember, this Republic couldn't have asked for better soldiers, nor I better friends.